Here comes Susie Sausage Head.
So, let me tell y'all about the time Susie Sausagehead and her friend were out painting the town red. They had already been to an exclusive restaurant and filled their bellies, hopped a couple of bars, and danced while enjoying libations. And now they had arrived to the final attraction of the evening. Susie and her friend were at a local amusement park and standing in line for what could be considered an extreme thrill ride. The ride was called the Swinger, and Susie Sausagehead could not wait to ride it. She had won a dare with her homegirl involving a location of one of the bars they had visited, but Susie expected that her friend would have gotten on the ride, win or lose, regardless. She was a fun type of girl like that, and Susie enjoyed living life to the fullest with her. They were quickly approaching the front of the line and were eager talking about the ride ahead. It was composed of metal chairs connected to a carousel via a chain that would lift up into the air against a platform while spinning 45 miles per hour. Susie Sausagehead had a healthy fear of heights, and it was for this reason that she wanted to ride the swings, in spite of her fear, forcing herself to face it head on. They reached the head of the line, presented their tickets, and ran toward the first set of swings that were unoccupied. After all, on a ride like this, it really didn't matter where you sat. Once they were secured in the two safety belts, they were given an all clear by the ride technicians, and they were off. The ride began by immediately shooting up about 100 feet before slowing down and beginning to spin. As it spun, it continued to ascend to the top of the ride tower. Susie Sausagehead alternated between opening and closing her eyes out of anxiety, while her friend screamed with excitement and glee. Heck, she was even kicking her legs and waving her arms. Way too much movement for Susie to risk. Still, it sounded as though they were having way more fun than another patron. The sounds that Susie heard coming from a man that was on the opposite side of the ride from where Susie was sitting. She could hear him groaning and protesting, demanding that the ride let him off. Susie Sausagehead forgot her own fears and concerns listening to the man in distress and was worried for his well-being. There was nothing any of them could do at this time, though. They were swinging above the city and would have to endure the ride until it was over. Well, the gentleman was not going to be able to endure because all of a sudden, there was vomit. Vomit was flying through the air and falling downwards towards spectators, operators, and prospective riders alike. The couple sitting behind the man were not spared his last meal either, as they were sprayed due to the swing's circular motion at 45 miles per hour. Immediate colorful language was heard both in the sky as well as on the ground, and a baby started crying. Suddenly, Susie didn't feel so bad. As the ground crew grew closer, she realized that the best way to overcome her fear is to take someone more afraid than she was. The end. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, and hype.